I'll just do it in my Delco accent.
your
This is me just doing it, and I'm like little deep voice raspy. Yo, welcome back to the Loft. What's good with yous, my guys? How we doing? We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers out here. You heard? All right, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and go follow the Loft. Say less, baby.
You never know what someone's going through in their day-to-day.
Made me reevaluate myself.
He was sick. That's all.
Block this out. You lose yourself, but then you become the person you didn't want to become.
But seriously, though, it is completely in your hands.
All right, our next guest is a content creator and sketch comedian who can smell a Delco accent from a mile away. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Burman, a.k.a. Sayburm. What's up, Alex?
What's going on?
How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming on the pod, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Of course. It took me a little while. You know, I had to, I remember I saw him at Mortgage Pier. I came up to you. And then we were like texting a little bit, and then I saw you again at Xfinity. I'm like, I need to get him on the pod.
He's like, when do I make my move? I'm nervous.
So I didn't say that, but
I'm kidding.
But nah, dude, I'm excited you came on. Thanks for taking time out to come on the pod. I've really enjoyed your stuff. I think you're hilarious. And like I said, like anyone who is content creating, getting stuff out there, you know what I mean. I want to network with them and have you guys on. So I really appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, and you're doing pretty big.
You're doing your thing.
Big.
Yeah, man.
Things are going. Things are blowing up. They've been taking off for about a year and a half at this point, I'd say. And everyone who's a content creator knows the feeling of when you first start. And it was tough getting going.
That's actually what I really want to get into, because we can talk about, you know, your stuff doing well and all that stuff, but like I want to get to the beginning, to when it wasn't going well, and like, you know, maybe certain choices or pivots you had to make, you know what I mean? So I guess start from the beginning. What inspired you to become, what do you consider yourself, a comedian? Would you say a comedian, content creator? Yeah,
comedian, actor, content creator. Some people give you the I word, the influencer. Oh, man.
Shit.
The real fancy way of saying, you know, you create content.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I'd consider myself. Comedian, actor.
So where did you start? When did this begin? You mentioned you've been doing well for a year and a half, but when did it actually start?
So I did theater in high school. So I quit football. I played football my entire life. Played baseball throughout college, so I was always an athlete. And I've always been like into lifting and running, but I quit football my sophomore year of high school to do theater. Okay. And this all started back in elementary school. I did the talent show.
Okay.
My brother and I and my dad choreographed it. We did the Blues Brothers.
That's great.
The Soulmate?
That's great.
That's where my first standing ovation was, and
I want to ride that high.
Yeah.
You were hooked, hell yeah.
I got hooked to performing and acting and making people laugh and acting. So I took a leap of faith my sophomore year of high school and quit football. And then, you know, my friends were like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're a football player. You're going to really try out for the play. And I said to myself, I think Jonah Hill is the man. I think Leo DiCaprio is the man. I always liked guys like Jimmy Tatro and Trevor Wallace.
Trevor Wallace is good. I went to one of his shows recently. He's really funny as shit, man.
Yeah, I was there too at the Fillmore.
Yep.
I don't know if you were at that one.
Yep.
Phenomenal show. That guy's my idol. And so I had all of these idols, these guys I looked up to who were actors, comedians, sketch comics, guys like Key and Peele. And I said, all right, I'm going to try it out. And everything went great. Yeah. I loved it. I had rehearsal every day after school. My performances went well. I was always a comedian in all of the fall plays because in the spring I had baseball.
Right.
But I was nominated for like best supporting actor my sophomore year. And I said, okay, this is like a passion. This is also a gift. This is something that I want to try out and keep it going. So I took a little break during college. And I did some improv classes and did some other theater classes, but I wasn't able to perform in anything huge. And I just didn't have the time to do sketch comedy videos, but that was always the plan. So once my senior year of college came around, I started making the videos and they would start off just me and my friends picking up an iPhone, no script, no nothing, and seeing where we would go. I ended up releasing all of them on Vimeo because I was scared and nervous that people would judge me.
Right.
And
That's how it usually is. Yeah.
I would get comments. What are you doing this for school? What's this for class?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to be a content creator, sketch comedian, guy like Jimmy Tatro. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. And a lot of people were interested by that, but they're also like, all right, like
they're gonna judge
see
you.
how it goes. You do get judged.
Yeah.
And so once the videos started popping off, it just gives you more momentum, more motivation. And I just kept going each week because I know consistency is key.
Consistency is everything.
Cool.
You could tell, because I've noticed like your content started to evolve, where you would have like the green screen, and then now you're actually doing like more animated like sketches, where it's like, you know, like the Seattle guy, the Wildwood guy, like the Delco guy, you know, all stuff. So, and so when you picked up your first, you know, your camera, you filmed. What was your first video? I'm curious.
The first video I did was in Georgia. My little brother had a baseball tournament there, and we were at a hotel, and this was going into my senior year in July. I guess it was over 3 years ago at this point. So this has taken a while to get to this point, and I know
nothing happens overnight.
Not at all. And so we made a funny video in about an hour and a half, 2 hours of my character meeting up with a girl from Tinder at the hotel.
Yeah.
Called The London. And at that time, The London by Travis Scott was like a, I guess,
Young Thug, right?
Young Thug. Travis Scott was a big song. And so I named it that. And then I end up getting catfished at the hotel by my father, who comes out with a razor in a towel around his waist and a big hairy belly. And he's like, I got you. And I'm like, no.
That's awesome. So how, let me ask you this. How did that video do?
Not good.
Right. So what kept you going? Like, did you always see like, hey, there's a light at the end of the tunnel for yourself?
Yeah.
And you're
at
having
first,
fun
I just
with
wanted
it.
to have fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to act, be on camera. I've always loved editing. I do all of my editing.
Yeah.
I love adding the music. I like adding the captions and different zoom-ins and different cuts. So that's what I like to do when I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
And that's what I got to do for those however many hours after I filmed. That's what I always wanted to be doing. So it didn't really matter what I filmed in the beginning. It was just fun to do.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then once I hit that Delco market is when things started to blow up.
Right.
Things started to get views.
Yeah.
Retweets, likes, and that's when I knew I had something in my back pocket.
What influenced you to start doing the Delco accent? Because it's so fucking funny. Because it's so real.
It's kind of great just like listening to your voice in person too, because like you have the accent.
It's kind of self-induced at this point.
Yeah, like
it's bad.
It's
It can come out at any
accentuated,
moment,
like,
yeah.
but it's so spot on. It's great.
So what influenced it? Like the beginning of that, where like, yo, I need to do a Delco accent.
I was watching this interview of Bradley Cooper, who's from this area.
Yeah.
You know, probably pretty close, maybe 20 minutes.
He's from like I know he like runs he runs a track in the Northeast.
There's a Catholic school, Bonner. Right by Bonner.
Yeah,
I think it's right by Butcher Bonner, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went to Ryan. I'm a Northeast kid, so like
so you understand.
we
Yeah.
naturally like we actually make fun of anyone who's from Delco. So it's like it's just like it's
That's the weirdest thing because my circle now is 90% of Delco people, and I'm like I trashed everybody from Delco. I was like it was like a rival that like just was. You grew up having it.
Yeah, and now I catch myself doing that accent. You do.
It's a solid target market to hit.
Yeah,
and
it's
I
so
always
good.
exaggerate it, and I did it in the beginning too. And that Bradley Cooper interview of the Philly accent gave me the idea. But I had grown up around coaches who were from Springfield, Upper Darby, Brookhaven.
Right.
My dad's store was in Brookhaven. I was always around people that had Delco accents. My grandmother, my mom, they all have Delco accents. And so
That's awesome.
I didn't really have one before I started doing the videos, but
Like, I
I'm
just
acting
wanted that.
like that guy so often
become
now.
that, yeah.
It just comes out, or
Yeah.
like I said, it's self-induced.
That's amazing. Do you find people coming up to you a lot and saying, "I see you from the videos" and stuff like that?
Or asking you to do
Yeah,
them.
yeah, it happened twice today. It happened at Sweet Green today and on the street. Like,
Did
you're that guy, or yo, Sayburm. I love that one. Or
yeah.
Say Beast. That's my my TikTok name, or the guy who does the videos.
Yeah.
The one I got the other day that was really fun was, "You're that Delco motherfucker," and I was like,
that's pretty Philly. That's a
so
pretty
where
Philly
did you?
reaction.
So obviously your name's Alex Burman, right? So where did the Sayburm come from? How did you get that?
For sure. So it started Saybeast.
Yeah,
for sure. So it started out as Saybeast, and I played baseball. As I've said, me and my friends would dap each other up or introduce one another. I guess like approach one another and be like, "What's up?" and say. So it's like lingo. Saybeast, Say Kid, Sayburm, and I wanted my Instagram name to be closer to my real name or my last name.
Yeah.
No
Last
government
name
names.
Burman, Sayburm, and I wanted my my TikTok name to be Saybeast because I've always wanted that nickname.
Yeah.
Because my friends would come up to me and say, Saybeast, Sayburm.
There it is.
And now those are my nicknames from the alias online
Cool.
Yeah.
profiles that I've built.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think when we were at Morgan's, I was pretty drunk, and I was like, I can't, where the fuck did I put his contact at? And I kept typing Burman, and I saw Burman, Alex Burman, like, it has to be him. I'm like, thank God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna ask, when you filmed the first Delco one, like you said, like everyone, like that was kind of the first one that kind of blew you up like that. Like, did anybody give you like shit from being around there, like for doing that at all?
Yeah, I would say some people would be like, maybe bat an eye at it or something like that, or say, "Oh, that's not Philly, or that's not Delco, that's not what we sound like." But I'm sorry, everybody. That's what we all sound like. That's what the real hard Delco accent folks sound like.
Exactly.
When you actually sound like that, though, like when I always go back to when I worked for the Sixers, because the craziest part about it was I was like one of like maybe 3 girls that were there, and everybody else was from like Mississippi or something like that. And there was like 3 solid Philly people, and they were like, the highlight of our day is listening to your calls. They were like, you have the thickest Philly accent, but to me, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, no, I don't.
It. Yeah.
And they're like, Paige, one sentence like for you is a word. Like it's not. So like not realizing it and then seeing it. Like I remember the first time I like saw your videos and stuff too, and I was cracking up because I watched it. I was cracking up, but I could see how so many people could be like, we don't sound like that.
Because you have to exaggerate it.
You have to exaggerate it. But that's the content behind
what makes it. I think what makes it funny is there's truth to it. You know what I mean?
There is truth to it.
All comedy has to have a little bit of truth or a lot of bit of truth and an exaggeration to it.
Do you do stand up at all?
I was going to say that.
No stand up, but I do movies, TV shows, and I've done like other short.
Have you done anything?
Dive into that.
Yeah. So what have you done so far in terms of like movies and those kind of projects?
So last year, I guess I've been going to acting class for 2 years now. So even on top of the sketches, I got to go to acting class because I have acting coaches and they critique me, and I'll do more drama work and other things that aren't comedy, and they just make you better overall, taking different cues, remembering lines, just overall being good at acting.
Be well-rounded, for sure.
Exactly. So last year I did 2 indie films, a student film, 2 indie films, a feature film, a web series TV show, and a reality TV show. So I did that one.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that
was
cool.
an interesting.
How was it? Yeah, how was the reality TV show?
Reality TV show was wild. It was insane. Just like the whole experience of it and being, on camera for that many hours straight. It was like a 4-day shoot, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So it was short, but still, you got a camera on you the entire time.
Yeah.
You're mic'd up the entire time, and
gotta be careful.
What was the craziest experience with that?
With that, probably sleeping next to random guys on an air mattress in a house in the middle of Connecticut where I didn't know anybody. That was probably the most.
So how'd you?
And you're like, oh, for sure.
Yeah, I was like, all right, we'll do this. Whatever, wild experience. Why
So
not?
how'd you get into that? How'd you get that started? Like get into the reality show?
The reality show, I was just like auditioning for stuff, or like they would contact me, and those types of things, come your way when you're on IMDb or you're on Backstage, which is like the IMDb. LinkedIn for actors. Okay. So they'll contact you, and then I auditioned for that one, or
that's pretty cool.
Other things like the feature film and the indie films. all basically audition based or through the connections that I made through acting.
So you're in Philadelphia, right? You're not in New York. You're not in LA. You're not in any of them hotspot, places. What kept you going with wanting to stay with acting and being motivated to keep putting on content and keep doing what you should be doing? Because at the end of the day, I understand like there's gonna be critics, there's gonna be people talking shit and like saying things like that. So what kept you inspired and what kept you motivated to stay within your lane and understanding that that is your lane?
So as soon as I hit the few niches that I feel like I'm pretty good at, which is the Delco Philly content, the bro content, sports content. I do a little bit of like central PA hick content is what I'd say.
That's one of Dylan's favorite ones, wasn't it? The truck one.
Dude, the truck one when you were lifting the thing, you were like, if I put 10 cores banquets in here, it's a goddamn dumbbell.
Like a dumbbell. This thing's like a dumbbell.
So bad.
As you guys can see, I do more than just the Delco stuff. Some of my non-Delco Philly content goes even way more viral. Yeah. So once I was able to hit those niches, I was motivated to try and stay in those lanes and be as good as I could at those things. That way, I'm not just cornering myself and doing one bit of content.
You understand what you're good at.
For sure. Yeah. So I had a lot of motivation from the Delco stuff immediately because that was the first thing that popped off. But all the motivation after that came from the other things that went viral from. Right. So things like seniors in high school. I did a video called Seniors in High School, I think last fall. And that was just a random viral snowball effect video. And I'd never really had that happen to me on Instagram. And I started to say to myself, damn, I think I can do this. And then it happened again and again and again. And every time you get a video that goes viral, it gives you more motivation, gives you more hope, more inspiration. Yeah, and pushes you 100%.
Was there ever, sorry, Kev, was there ever a moment where you kind of like took a step back within those moments and you said to yourself, like, I really need to put my head down and really lock this in and like figure out what I want to do with this?
For sure.
And when was like, do you have like an aha moment, like a specific moment in your head that?
Yeah, so it was down the shore when I started taking Trevor Wallace's social media class. I started to hit a bit of a wall with my content that wasn't the Delco stuff or the Philly content. And I said to myself, all right, we need to expand. I can't be a one-trick pony if I'm going to have a long-term career in comedy, content creation, whatever you want to call it. So I started doing research on what it takes to go viral. And a lot of it has to do with the time that you're posting, the consistency of how much you're posting, and recognizing what went viral for you before and then repeating it and doing it again, but in a different way. So, for instance, I did a video called Seniors in High School. And then maybe that summer before, I did Freshmen in College, which went viral. Right. So I just switched it to Seniors in High School and played this character that was pretty similar, maybe slightly different. Yeah. And it hit. And then I just kept repeating that process. So there were days when I was down the shore watching that social media class, back to the point, I'd say to myself, okay, I just need to see what other people did to go viral and do it myself.
Do it your way.
And continue to keep the fan base that's in Philly. That way they stay for that content and then the fan base grows. Right.
Which is not as easy as you just put it in a couple sentences.
But in a weird way, it kind of is. Like, if you have, and I was gonna say, like, what I guess my question is to you is, do you have no, you're good. Do you have a team around you right now, like people that you consider who films it, like what you would consider like your team?
Yeah. So in the beginning, it was, hey, my little brother, hey, can you come film this video for me?
That's how it starts.
It's a drag, and maybe they don't want to be there that day. But we had so many fun memories, amazing times in the beginning on the come up where my brothers would film the videos, my cousin, my friend, anybody that I could get that day. And I'd give them a little bit of money, or I'd be like, yeah, I'll buy you lunch, and just trust the process. Now it's turned into, okay, I have some writers with me. I have a film guy that's dedicated. I have other film guys that are jumping on board. I have people who will review my videos to say, okay, now keep this joke, delete that joke. We jump on calls every week. It really is a team at this point for the people that I use around me and help.
Did you kind of put that in motion? Like, were you like, I need some help here? And
with how often I wanted to post to separate myself, I needed people around me. I was posting 2 times a week at one point, and some of those videos would be POVs where it didn't really take that much time, and I would just do them on my own. And then the other ones would be multiple actors. I needed a film guy, and then I'd constantly need to improve the quality. So once I got my guy East Coast Films on board, I met him through a collaboration I did with Zach Goes. East Coast Films, Luke Zarelli. He has been my film guy since last March. I've always been mic'd up since then for all of my videos. We use the highest quality editing software. We use the highest quality camera really you can get.
Right.
For as much, you know.
Yeah, the quality's good. The videos look good, you know,
Thanks.
for sure.
I've definitely heard of them too. Wait, that's great though. I also wanted to dive into how do you balance out all of the content creation and your personal life as well, and professional.
I like to release on Mondays. Monday nights I find are a really good time to post at 7 p.m. You always want to post at times that people are scrolling on their phone with the sound on.
Yep.
Because if that sound isn't on, then they might just swipe by it.
Right.
So I try to plot my life and the things that I do around when my videos are going to release. I usually
because
have
that's
a
your
release
passion,
schedule,
which is great.
and it's just constant at this point since I've been doing it over 3 years that I'm able to be like, oh, what are we releasing this day? Do I need to audible and post a repost or something that I just have in the archives that I only put up on TikTok? So I like to save my high production videos on Monday nights for Instagram, and then I'll post just about anything that's funny or you know,
do you
TikTok.
have like when you have these ideas that pop into your head, like I feel like especially somebody that's as creative as you and has been in content for a couple years, you have those moments where like you might even be in like a social setting and something might just trigger something. How do you capitalize on those moments?
Yeah, that's a great point because the original question was like, how do I balance with social life? A lot of the time I treat conversations or hanging out with the boys or going to a bar or going to a restaurant as an opportunity to look for content. And that's how I started that Right Outside of Philly Kid character. The one with my head's back like this and I talk like this and what am I doing out here?
I know somebody that looks and talks like that, that it's like making me squirm.
That's so funny.
I can't. It's so
I
true.
went to Xfinity Live one time last fall and I saw these kids getting in an argument and one of them like had his eyes squinting and he seemed like visibly hammered.
Right on the money.
I was like, I gotta do that character. I had really only been doing like Delco Dad where it'd be like,
I noticed that,
yeah, I'm going to get a pack of smokes at Wawa, right? So that's the accent. That's the funny dad character. And I was like, let me mix this frat surfer dude with... I'm getting off topic here. I'm sorry.
That's
but
perfectly
it relates
fine.
to the point,
You
right?
go for it.
Yeah, I saw that. And I will see things in my daily life and I'll write them down and that'll become an idea. But anytime that I'm coming up with my ideas for videos, it's typically in advance. We sort of kind of know what's going on for that next month, maybe 2 months, just from the phone calls we have or what I am choosing. And usually those ideas are selected from what is going to be relatable, what's in with the time at that point, and what's something that I want to do. What's a character that I want to play that I think is going to be fun to do and successful.
You can do.
What hasn't been done before, what's original.
Exactly. And so how do you, and do you have a create, and you have to give us the secret sauce on here, but do you have a creative process that you kind of work with?
For my POV videos, they're sometimes written if they have to do with sports, just because I want to make sure I have all the facts right.
Right.
But if it's like POV Right Outside of Philly Kid goes to Chipotle, I just get in front of the camera, turn on my ring light, and I would say my improv skills are probably my best acting skill, and I'm able to improv those and sort of just go over and over and over again. Now, for when we need to write a script, yes, I'll either start the script or one of my writers will start the script. Then we hop on a phone call, we go through it. I look through Reddit, I look through Google, I watch videos on YouTube. I'll do anything and everything to get the research I need to then put my funny twist on it. because I don't know
That's
everything.
awesome.
Not everybody knows everything.
Yeah.
You got to Google the character. You got to Google if I'm doing a video on people who watch NASCAR videos, or sorry,
F1?
watch NASCAR races.
Right.
I don't know anything about that. So then the last 2 weeks I've been watching videos on.
Right.
That's awesome.
That's pretty
on
cool.
that sport.
It's because you're calculating,
research.
and they say like that preparation is the biggest thing when it comes to being successful.
But I think the coolest part about like, so like obviously from my point of view is I'm seeing all of this content and stuff. I think it's so cool to be able to sit down and even talk to you and kind of pick your brain as to like what goes behind all of these videos, and how I can't emphasize any further because I've said it a couple times, but your passion behind it. Like you truly care about all of this stuff that you're putting out there, and you're doing the research for it. I think that that's so cool. And I think that viewers and stuff too can take that away as like, you don't just like, yeah, maybe there's a lot of people we've met that have been influencers that have just thrown up a video and been like, I can kind of run with this. Like you have a backstory behind it. And I think you're going to go so far with it because like I said, as soon as you said the whole thing of just going down the line of like Bradley Cooper, Leonardo DiCaprio, the people that have influenced you, that drives a fire behind the passion. And that's people that you look back on that are famous now that have sat there and been like, I've looked after blah, blah, blah. And they could go down a whole laundry list of people that have influenced them. And that is huge.
Such a good point, because I've done videos where you just turn on the camera, or you turn on the selfie cam and you do something funny and it's funny, or the spur of the moment stuff, or like, oh, I need to create content. I sometimes do that. But normally I want to spend those however many hours of making content with something I know that is going to do well, that people want to see, and that's going to be high quality.
And you have to realize, too, it's going on the internet. Like, one small slip up, you could be...
Yeah,
you have full control, full creative control. I wanted to, like, reel back a little bit and talk about when you, because it's, like I said, it's easy to talk about how well you're doing and the trajectory you have. But when you started off making the videos and you kind of were by yourself and with your little brother, like, how did you handle criticism and hate? And I don't know if you have any examples you're willing to share, but how did you handle that, and how did you persevere through that?
So, there's always going to be some comments out there that you don't like, people that might not appreciate what you're doing, that are just going to hate on your content. I just try not to let it bother me at all. I honestly don't even read them half the time. Yeah. The majority of the time, they're positive, so I don't mind. But then
now they're positive.
And in the beginning, there were some folks that were like saying things that I didn't want to see, and I just ignored it. I ignored it. I played baseball growing up. There's a lot of failure in baseball, and it just
rub it in.
I never let it make me self-conscious. Yeah. Except for when I got made fun of for my eyebrows being too far apart. So I was plucking them way too far apart. Somebody was like, "Have your eyebrows ever seen each other?" And I'm like, "Well, they don't have eyes. That's kind of fucked up."
It's kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's fucked up, but it's funny. So I was like, "Thanks, bro. I appreciate that."
Yeah,
that was
because I was plucking way too hard. But still,
comedians, I feel like comedians. I think comedians find humor in everything. I think comedians are very good at taking jokes. You have to have thick skin, right? Because you got to. You know what I mean? Like, especially with I watch like a lot on TikTok, a lot of like hecklers. I think they're the funniest things in the world because the way the comedians handle them is so well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you really have to have a fucking attitude.
Yeah, if you react to it, you're only going to feed into the fire. So exactly. I said, okay.
That's why I think you're going to make it so far with this too.
Don't care.
Well, exactly. And I think, and the only reason why I emphasize the beginning is because when you have that success, the hate kind of goes away. So like, and when you have the hate, you also have the support, and you also have the momentum and the numbers behind it, where it's like, okay, like you can say that, but you're still at your local bar, like doing the fucking fuck all, like.
But also, I think
you know what I mean.
That's a good point. Trust me, in the beginning, when you have no numbers to show for it, and you're getting hated on, it's kind of embarrassing, and it makes you want to quit, or just like run away from home. But I didn't.
But also, it goes back to you even being like, oh, I'm gonna quit football for theater. And Like that's the thing.
Unpopular
like,
opinion. Yeah, 100%.
I was Zac Efron in that bitch. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Your little Troy Bolton.
Like,
little Troy Bolton.
Get your head in the game. Trying to be on stage and ball out with my bros.
Exactly.
That was what I was trying to do. I was trying to be Shakespeare. I was trying to be an actolete, an actor
awesome.
athlete.
Oh, my dog Z.
That's what I called myself. Professional acting on real big time sets with a bunch of different professional actors.
Yeah.
It all just, or being on stage and doing high school theater, it all helped what I can do today and how I'm able to work with.
Do you think it keeps your shoulders down too? Like being able to walk in, like even you coming, I know that a lot of people will get nervous just like walking into a room like this and being like, oh, I'm on a podcast, whatever. Obviously you're in content creation and everything. Do you think you could walk into a room full of big shots and be able to just be yourself and keep your shoulders down?
Yeah. I think so.
I think you could, like, just based off of your demeanor.
I think it's just confidence.
It's a confidence thing.
But I was going to ask you too. So, your choices that you made from starting to make content, like, has it brought any new people in your life that you would consider like longtime friends? Like, you know what I'm saying, when you make content, when you're starting to like, you know, become like the comedian, the influencer that you want to be, like, who has it brought into your life that's been very important to you?
So everyone that has helped me get to this point, it ranges from my family, somebody letting me use a set, somebody writing a script with me, somebody jumping in a video, somebody filming a video. It's everybody. Right. So to answer your question, I'm going to answer it all in one. Everyone that's helped me get to this point means so much to me because I'll never forget those little moments where it was like we were hanging out and then we had a funny idea and then we wrote the script literally that night and then I went and next week I filmed it. Because not a lot of people would do that. Right. You know, I'll always be with my friends or whoever is helping me out and trying to figure out content. And whether it's my boy Anthony Martinelli or my little brothers or my older brother or my film guy. My film guy, Luke Zarelli, new writer and creative director that we just brought on the team, Ethan Bedwell. Now he's starting to take acting class. Like, that's seeing awesome. All of these people be a part of what I've grown and having that video be out there and we can always go back to it and see and remember what we were doing that day. My friends who I just gave them the phone and say, hey, can you film me when I wasn't getting any numbers? And they're like, yeah, sure. Like, or they'll be like, yeah, dude, like absolutely. And they loved it. I think
shows
it's a
you
real
have a good
fun
support system
thing.
too.
Have you noticed? So have you noticed that any of your friends have started to take a little bit of inspiration from you because you've with your acting classes and really pushing that? Have you seen your friends start to take that as well into their own lives? Like you said, one of your friends is going to acting classes now. Like,
oh, I think I can do this.
Like, have you been able to inspire people around you? You think?
No doubt. There's a content creator, DC the Goon. Really, really funny kid. We connected over the summer. Maybe 2 years ago, year and a half ago. Within a month, I had him in acting class too, and now he's been in short films. You know, he goes to acting class every week, can audition for stuff now.
That's awesome.
That's so great.
I have other people who I've met who I introduced to this acting class, the Actors Co-op. Let me shout out Actors Co-op.
I want to do this.
Pete Pastiglione, Val McAdoo, my acting coaches. They've helped me so much. And yes, I think that I've also maybe motivated some people to just start grinding more and get after it and create something of their own. I've always wanted my own brand, my own business, and to have my own YouTube channel, comedy channel.
That's amazing.
So grateful.
And you're making it happen for yourself. And a little fun fact: I actually took an acting class in college. I went to Temple, and I took an acting class, and I give a lot of respect and props to the people who were in acting. Because
all right, can I drop this?
It's a grind.
I was in theater.
I took an acting class in college too, and I'm not gonna lie, it's my favorite class I took in college.
I was obsessed with it.
I had to do it. I had to do a monologue, and it was like I had to memorize it. I'm like, dude, this is like.
What was your monologue?
Dude, I couldn't tell you, bro. This is years ago.
We did
Shakespeare shit.
We had to do a skit, and I did the one from SNL with Chris Farley, and he's like, Chris Farley in a van down by the river.
But the thing is, and you have to like,
he's the
really,
man.
real shit. And he's
one of my influences.
So I do trivia on Thursdays at Drake Tavern, and one of the questions that I had was, so originally Chris Farley was supposed to be Shrek before, who was the actor?
Mike Myers.
Mike Myers, yeah.
Michael, so it was supposed to be Chris Farley, but he didn't get the role.
He's one of my biggest influences. I love Chris.
So you have to become your role. So like when you're doing like your skits, how do you get yourself prepared to do it? Like do you have like a method, or do you have like a little bit of like a routine that you have?
I feel like you're so relaxed too. I can't even see you going through this
I know
method.
these different characters I play are all like my alter ego, and just the creative juices I got inside me that got to be released, honestly. So if I'm playing a character that is one with a heavy accent, you know, like a Southern guy, I'll run through the lines beforehand.
He's like, I'll take my John Deere out back.
My 40 F-150. Put it right in the bed. No, put it right in the bed. God damn it.
That's awesome.
Or if I'm doing a Delco guy or outside of Philly kid, I'll do my research. Like, that is my preparation that week. When I'm starting to get into character and starting to understand the script and do my research is my first step. Then day of, night before, things like that. Maybe practice my lines a little bit and then get in the zone.
And do you build, so do you go off, like, when you, let's say you have like an idea, how quick does that idea become a video?
It happened one day within 24 hours, and we got an actual location to film it for, and the video went viral. This was, we were at the Piazza in Northern Liberties, and me and my boys were just hanging out in the pool, like having some seltzers, and I had a video for the next day that I was gonna film that I had already plotted out, and we came up with this idea of, like, you know, when somebody is going to get a tattoo, when they're plotting out their first tattoo. If
you don't have any tattoos?
I don't, you know.
Also, you said it in the video, but like, but still, like, So that was in 24 hours.
We wrote the sketch while we were hanging out, and this is my boy Xander Roker. He is a comedian in Chicago, and he was just there for the weekend, and we were with my boy Ian Eckert, shout out, the Piazza. We used to only use him for now he moved, so like,
you can't even be mad about
so
that.
Funky. I'm playing.
That's
but
funny.
I hope he sees it. And so within 24 hours, I was able to manage to get Baker Street Tattoo and Media to let us film in the shop. We had the script ready to rock, and thank God I have my film guy ready to go, and he's like, all right, I'll meet you there, no problem.
It's awesome.
And we were able to film that, edit it, and I was able to release it.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it'll happen real quick like
so
that.
How long was that process, though? I know you said 24 hours, but like from the start of the sketch to you guys actually like getting the video done and stuff and editing and getting that out.
Yeah, that one, you know, overall took a week. Some of the other ones will take 2. Some of them will take 3. I'm, you know, if I'm working with a brand, a lot of the documents you need to sign or contracts you need to go through. You need to make sure the legal team looks at it. You need to make sure
it takes a lot.
Checking all the boxes, so that could take a while. But if I did a POV, sometimes that'll be like an hour and I'll post it. Or it'll be like a few days. I'll edit it throughout the week. Usually it takes a week.
Usually,
editing takes a week.
I think you usually don't want to hold on to stuff, I feel like, because if you have something filmed and done, just fucking put it out. Have you had a time in your life really challenged you, and not even creatively, not even talking about like Sayburm, I'm talking about Alex. Like, is there anything in your life that you've been through that's really challenged you and that you've had a lot of growth from?
Yeah. I think injuries in sports.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks when you can't get out on the field and you're on crutches.
With your boys.
Or you got a boot on and you're watching your friends play. And it's aggravating. So I think I like broke my back at one point.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was going through puberty and stuff. So I was like, I looked a little different back in the day. Not to make this into a joke. Used to be a certified chode. I broke my back because I didn't have enough core strength, and I had like, you know, just was overweight and stuff.
Fucking snapped it.
Sorry to make this really dramatic. All right. Anyway, you know, I break the back, or I broke my foot one time, and I like had to get surgery. And that shit teaches you a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the perseverance that it takes to get back on the field, just like the perseverance it took for me to be like, I don't care that my video is getting 80 likes right now.
It's a lot of a mental game,
4 of them
too.
are from my family. So it is, you know, those were times where I was in a back brace or I was in a boot thinking about the vision of what I wanted to do, whether it was succeed in baseball, succeed in college and academics, or succeed as an actor. I just always had a vision in those dark times, right?
Yeah.
I kind of like to push through the, I guess, wave or like big seed that's falling on you, and say, all right, where's the light at the end of the tunnel? I got this. I got to stay straight.
It's very important.
I got to keep my head on straight.
I really like that you said that, because what I always stress to people is the good and the bad. It's like I saw it. So I go back to TikTok because I love TikTok. There's so much shit on there. Someone was talking about how that watch surfers. They're one of the best people in the world because they understand the idea of a wave, where it's like they want to catch it while it's there and understand that eventually it does come back down, right? So like when you have something bad in your life, you're gonna realize, okay, this is probably the peak of the like horrible part of your life, but it always comes back down and it always fixes itself. And then and same thing with the good. You know, you're always gonna find the good. You're always gonna find the bad. But as long as you keep yourself level-headed like you did and understand that it's not like, let's say like. People say that like they're depressed. It's also, if you think about it, you maybe feel depressed or you feel sad or you feel happy. It's a feeling because feelings are always fleeting, you know. And I think that's super important when you're in those states where you're like, I'm not in a good place right now, but guess what? Tomorrow's a new day, right? There's and I know Paige, you can relate to this as well. I'm at a bad time, but it will always pass.
Yeah, everything. But I also think that builds you up to like. For example, like you have so much confidence and stuff now too. Like I think that everything that that molds you throughout your life, if you choose to turn that into a positive and keep pushing, like you can overcome anything you put your mind to.
Yeah, and
absolutely anything.
Not having like a victim mentality.
Totally agree. Yeah, it's very tough if you're gonna like have self-pity.
Like you even said that too. You were like, even the bad comments and stuff. Like you've gotten to a point now, and like I could just observe that from your confidence in the way you said it. Like you were like, I don't care. Like I really don't care. Like you really have to brush that stuff off. And like once you get through like so many hurdles, like I have had a couple conversations over the last day, and it all stemmed off of being 100% authentically yourself for yourself and not giving a fuck who is watching at the end of the day. Because we're so easy to pick up our phone and like, let's say you have a crush, or like, let's say you like your job or your mom or your dad. Like at the end of the day, if it's what's fueling your passion and everything that you're doing and you're confident in that, and you can turn around and say, fuck you, I don't care if you're uncomfortable. Like if they're uncomfortable at the end of the day, and after seeing you confidently walk away from that, that's on them. That's a them issue.
I was also going to say, if you're having fun with it, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll get too caught up in the numbers or too caught up in like the brand deals, and I'm like, dude, that's not what this is about. Go back to that kid who just posted this Delco Thanksgiving video, and then out of nowhere,
and is having fun.
Went wild viral, and it was just fun, and it was for the art of sketch comedy and the art of the process of writing scripts, hanging out with friends, and just creating content. And sure, it might be on like a smaller scale. Like every now and then, I'll pop 1 million views, or I'll get you know whatever 10,000 likes or something crazy on TikTok, like a couple 100,000 likes, you know. But at the end of the day, we're on a little bit smaller of a scale. We're in Philadelphia. We're in the Northeast. Yeah. Enjoy it for what it's worth. Be grateful that you're able to do it. Exactly. That's what pushes me to do these things every week.
And you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. Like, it's not like somebody else did. Like, I think that sometimes it takes a moment in just your daily life to turn back and be like, okay, like I am somebody, and I know that we talk about this often, but there's so many times in my life where like I'll take a stance and I'm like, oh, like I'm having a really bad day, or like whatever, like how am I going to overcome this? Like it's so important to take a step back and be like, look at what I did. Yeah. Like you built a lot for yourself.
And sometimes getting into the space of like, what if I wasn't doing this? You know, what if you weren't podcasting? What if I wasn't acting or doing comedy? How would I feel?
So let me ask you, what would you be doing?
I don't know, man. I'd be figuring a way out to get back into it, I guess. Right, yeah. Because if that's your passion and a skill and something that you feel good about doing all the time, I mean, that's really what matters.
I think it's what drove you through to getting to the success you have now, because
you already have good friends too.
Because I'm sure like everybody has lulls, right? Like you feel like, oh, like what I'm doing right now isn't working because it's the third video and you haven't got 1 million views yet. Like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so do you feel like you just kind of just fell in love with it, like fell in love with the process, and now you're just having fun with it?
Do you post it and just stare, or you're like, is this gonna take off?
Sometimes. I like posting videos that I know are gonna do well, and I put them down and I work out. I actually love posting my videos and going for a run while it's going to get my anxiety, like, or the juices that are like, whoa, is this gonna be bad? Or is this gonna flop? And I'm just working out through it. But I'll also get like a little bit of like an adrenaline rush spot if I see it's doing really well, and I'm pumping iron in the gym, hitting the fucking PR. Let's go. Hit a PR on views, hit the PR on
one more plate.
One more.
So let me ask you this. What's next?
What's what's next?
What's your goal? What's your 5-year goal?
A
I was gonna
movie.
say that, like the next goal, like from here.
I want to be able to release content weekly that is performing, that people are engaged with. That's number one, because at the end of the day, doesn't matter how many followers you have. If you have people watching it, that's what matters. It's all about the engagement. So I want to stay consistent, high quality, have funny videos that people are engaged, and you know, keep the numbers up, because I'm only going to be able to grow from there. Then I want to do more things outside the box. So I have a video coming out soon where I'm going to New York for it, right?
Oh, cool.
And we're doing a video with a certain brand next week. I mean, at this point, I can probably say it. When's this going to release?
It's actually
Tomorrow.
going to come out tomorrow.
Oh, it's coming out tomorrow?
Yeah, about tomorrow.
Yeah, so whatever.
We can talk
I can
off
say it now. It's fine. No, so I partnered with Roman, you know, like Roman Swipes.
Oh.
Yeah, so
It's on your link tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the
Reminds
things
me
that
of
I want to
Barstool.
do. I want to do things that are outside the box.
Yeah.
And my
really
goal
cool.
is to be able to keep growing the followers, keep growing the views, keep growing the likes.
Exactly.
And
And
see where this whole thing goes. I like the
That's so
ambiguity of it, the
yeah.
mystery of what's
Dude,
going on.
100%. And you evolve.
I like that.
You evolve, like, because you don't realize
You don't know where it's going to go.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it. Just fucking take it as it comes to you.
I think that's why I really have another question for you. How has this affected your dating life? And I'm sure you've gotten that before.
Great question.
Yeah, it's just like so many honeys just swimming in the DMs now because like I'm a micro niche influencer. So it's kind of a flex.
It's like my following.
How's it affected my dating life? You know, you have girls come up to you at the bar and stuff, or
Yeah.
they'll message you out of nowhere or something like that. That changes the aspect of it all.
Has it
But
given
then
you a big
there's-
head?
No.
You got to stay humble.
You
I
gotta
feel
stay
like.
humble. I
'Cause-
don't think, but I think it's because it's what I'm meant to do and what I love doing
Right.
that it doesn't give me that big head. But I do have confidence from it because, you know, I'm
No,
I'm a micro niche influencer
I'm kidding. Continue.
because it's a special and interesting thing,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I
Right.
think girls might want something that is intriguing or interesting,
Yeah.
in a guy,
Different.
and different, right?
Yeah.
And
Right?
I'm a comedian. I'm a
right?
clown. I dress up in different outfits.
Yeah, yeah.
I have different voices and accents, and it's
Yeah.
all over the internet, and a lot of people see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
maybe that's attractive. Who knows?
Right.
I also have made a lot of friends through it too,
Right.
from random people coming up to me and being like, "Yo, are you Sayburm?" I'm like, "Yo, what's up, man?" Or
Yeah.
if I'm networking or trying to make new business connections, that also helps with that
Exactly.
too. You know, one of my biggest idols was Nick Coletti growing up on Vine.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I went to see him
Love
stand
him.
up, and I knew he commented on a few of my videos, and I got the meet and greet pass because I wanted to meet him and see if
Right.
he
Talk
met
to
me.
him. Right.
And he was like, "No way, dude! Like,
Yeah.
I love your videos.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
that's a dream come true for someone
Yeah,
like
that's
me
sick.
because that's who got me
Nick
started
Coletti.
and one of my
That's
idols."
funny.
So I definitely think I could. I'd be a little nervous. I met Lil Sass from Barstool.
From Barstool,
and I didn't
yeah.
really know what to say to him, and like,
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I kind of fucked that up, but
I
it's
love
fine.
Lil
Like, I'll
Sass.
get another.
So-
So I actually wrote down a lot of my goals coming into the year. I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. I think I've been doing this for 7 or 8 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Me and my roommate Andrew Pannoni have a Google document. It's called the BP Success Program. So what you do is you partner up with somebody. So say you guys had a shared Google Doc together, right? And you break down your life in different segments of, all right, so here's acting, here's filmmaking, here's lifting and fitness, here's spirituality, here's all these different things that I do in my life, right? So yours would be
Yeah.
like podcasting, candles, community service work. You'd write all these things down. And so at the beginning of the year, you write down your long-term goals for that year. Maybe you write six month goals too, and then quarterly goals. And then you go to monthly goals, and then you go to weekly goals. And, you know, basically every week we'll check in and have like a doc. We call it a doc talk.
Yeah.
DALK, a doc.
Yeah.
So we'll talk through the week, we'll talk through the month, the quarter, the year,
I like
and
that a lot.
where we are
I
on
love
goals. So yeah, my my Instagram following goal was like, all right, 50,000 by the end of the year. And I think at that point I might have even been, I don't even know if I was at 10 when I made that goal. So we're at like 33.2.
Yeah.
So it just shows writing down your goals is a huge part of hitting them.
Manifest
Yeah.
it.
Manifest it. Put it out in writing. Put yourself accountable. Make yourself responsible for your goal.
So we actually had this conversation. I actually want to ask you this as well. So we were talking about manifestation, and because a lot of people, especially nowadays, like there's so much woo-woo out there. A lot of people are like, oh, I can literally just think about this idea and like freaking cast a spell with my fucking sage and it's just going to happen.
Shout out Mara
Do
Herman.
you think, I love Mara. Do you think that if you write down the goals, it's more so the mindset and the aspect of seeing it and the aspect of just reiterating that in the brain that pulls you towards that goal?
Yeah. All right. So I think that writing it down is huge, but you got to write down sub goals and little things that you're going to do, like habitual changes you're going to make in order to hit those goals. So if my goal is to hit X amount of followers, then I need to know what I'm going to do every week to hit that, what I'm going to do every month. And what I think has sort of separated me as a content creator is finding the strategies of getting reposts on finding the strategy of getting big reposts on big pages. So Barstool Philly has really been a huge outlet for me to reach a bigger audience that can use my content.
Who runs that page? Do you know who runs that page?
I really don't know. I actually don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But getting reposts on them, shout out Barstool Philly. Thank you so much for all of the reposts. And I'm glad we've sort of made that little connection.
The networking
I would
aspect of it.
absolutely.
There's a lot that has to do with it. It's not just the content creation.
I truly would love to see you on Son of a Boy Dad.
Oh, that would be sick.
That
Yeah,
and
would
that
be
and
great.
the Yak are like two shows that I like religiously will turn on in the background of like my like mundane freaking 9 to 5, and I absolutely am obsessed with it. And so many people are like, oh, like there's like not that many girls that like sit here and watch it. And I'm like, oh, I'm not that kid.
Yeah.
But like sitting down and talking with you, I think that you would seriously, like in all seriousness, you would do so great on that.
Thank you.
I would love to
Thanks.
see you on that.
You get a endorsement from Paige. That's a big thing, you know.
Yeah, that would be, put in a good word.
Yeah,
Thanks
so
so
I
much.
think if you had a few pieces of advice for content creators or kids who were scared to start, what would you say to them? I know we hit on it a little bit earlier, but I think if you kind of with that question in mind, what would you say to them?
I would say we've brought up consistency a lot here.
Yeah.
And finding what you're passionate about is huge.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always liked sketch comedy. I've always liked editing.
Yeah.
I've always liked putting myself in different costumes and characters and headspaces.
Mm-hmm.
So I've done that, right? So if it's for you, it's music, right? Get better at music. For me, I went to acting class. I made as many videos as I could. I got good at editing. I started working at different skills. Get good at music. Get good at podcasting. Get good at the fundamentals of whatever you want to do first.
Right. Learn
Because
that,
if you don't have that, then you're not going to be able to make it too far.
Exactly.
So find the consistency, build your skills any and every way you can. Build your skills any and every way you can. And then if you just have hope, faith, and keep working,
yeah,
I mean, you're going to get there.
Yeah.
You're going to get there, but you got to be strategic about it. Find different ways that other people are doing it and do those same things.
Yeah.
And also take uncomfortable opportunities.
Yeah.
I think is really big
You
too.
got to take a risk.
Yeah.
Take
Gotta
risks,
take
exactly.
risks.
That's big. I think, when you're mixing, because you said yourself, like 7 years, like I think understanding that it's a process, with the Sixers, it's trust the process, so it's like understanding that like your first video ain't going to be great. Your second video might not be great, but who knows, that 50th, that 60th, whoever, it just take building that up and I think like you kind of mentioned, like writing things down is huge because it keeps things visually in perspective for you. So you don't ever lose sight of that. And one day you'll be at the the Barstool headquarters, or you'll be wherever you want to be, right? Because you just fucking work your ass off and believe in yourself and keep those people that love you around you and who support you. I think it's huge,
dude. Absolutely. Now back to your throwing the question on you. Mm-hmm. Is this how your studio looked the first time you did a podcast?
Actually,
pull up the picture.
What did it look like?
I'm gonna show you right now.
Because you got to kind of look back on
while he
your
pulls up the
career
picture
here, right?
There.
Oh, he already has it.
So I filmed my first episode. This is called the LOFT. So we filmed it in my parents' loft, and it was me and my buddy Nick who started it. And this is what it looked like. We had one ring light and one camera. Take a Take a zoom in on that. Take a zoom in on that puppy right there.
Jesus, man.
Crazy is that?
Dude, it's all ground up.
That's almost it's almost 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years. Yeah.
Next
Dude,
month.
congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously. So look what you've done. So now to bring it full circle is you've upped your quality. You've gotten the right gear. You're getting the right people on the podcast.
Yeah.
You're getting good at interviewing. You guys are both good at interviewing.
Thank you. Yeah.
So if you continue to keep going and doing those things the right way,
yeah, and like
people are going to receive it.
Yeah, and I think something I've learned is just like you just adapt. You're like, oh shit, like how can I make this better? You buy a second camera. How can I not have fucking shitty looking quality videos? Buy lighting. Yeah. How can I make sure that the camera doesn't turn off every 25 minutes?
Oh God!
You get yourself a filmer.
Get yourself somebody.
R.I.P. those
and like,
days.
so me and him actually been doing a lot of like field interviews. So like we would go to Temple.
You've gotten so much better at those too.
In Center City, yeah.
So much.
So we would
better
go
at
to like
those.
Center City and we would film.
You're interviewing folks.
Yeah, like I
I'm
think
hiding in a bush, like
yeah.
with a camera on my hat.
So it's
I
great.
love
It's
Dill.
great. Like,
I love Dill.
we'll have like I'll interview random people in the street. I'll get like 7 people tell me no, but then you get that one person. And the first person I got me like 13,000 views, 1,000 likes on the first one. And I'm like, you know what? This is build off of that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we're at like part 5 right now, and like something we're like building on. I'm like, oh shit, actually like. This could be something we can like keep doing, and then you just adapt. I'm like, how can you make these videos better? You know, finding that thing that people like, and building off of that. Because your first video ain't gonna look like your most recent video. Like you kind of said for the pod. Like if I showed you like what the first episode looked like, it was rough, but you know you adapt and you build.
Look at you now.
Look at me now. But yeah, I'm so happy you came on and just kind of talked a little bit about your story, and because like. I've seen your stuff, and like I consider myself like a supporter, right? I think you're hilarious, and I think the number one thing I respect about you is changing people's minds. You know, like when it comes to starting off, and that's why I wanted to hit a little bit on the beginning part, because the success is great. The everyone loving you now is great, but I want like there's a
that in between.
There's a path to get there, and it's not always an easy path, and I think it takes a lot of conviction. Like it takes a lot of like believing in yourself and seeing what your vision was, especially when you had your back injuries and you know and everything like that. It's like it takes a little bit of like seeing down the road, the delayed gratification and the work you put in, because you could tell it's through your content. Like you kind of even hit on too. You have writers, your script writing, like the time, the research, the effort. It's not for no reason. You're not here for no reason. You know what I mean? So
also to be able to have a vision that nobody else has. Like you kept going, you hinted on that a couple times, and like you have to really like sit down and envision something that nobody else can see and believe in it, and that's hard.
Yeah,
it's difficult. And in the beginning,
and there's going to be moments that flop too.
Yeah,
it was very difficult in the beginning because you'd be like, "Oh, I don't even know when the next time I'm going to be able to film is because I don't have a film guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if someone's going to be available on a Sunday afternoon or just filming right after work."
Exactly.
And I think the more you do something like this, like just to tell everybody out there who's making music or doing content creation, the longer you do it, the more consistent you do it, the more you learn how to do it.
Right.
So
exactly.
I now know how to audible on a video when I have a video that is still in the editing process and it's not going to be ready for my release date. Or I know how to write a script and plot out how many weeks we need in advance to get different sets, locations, actors, writers, film guys. You know, once you start having that experience, it's tough in the moment, but damn it, you end up paying off for it.
See what that reward is down the line, where what it can be. So where can they find you?
Okay, so you can follow me at Sayburm on Instagram, SAYBURM. Typically post 3 to 4 times a month, usually on Monday nights. At Saybeast on TikTok, SAYBEAST. Pretty consistent content weekly there. And Saybeast on YouTube. Thanks for everybody supporting. Thanks for all the followers. User my guys. And if you haven't started following, can't wait for you to start following.
Hey, there it is.
We go.
There it is.
There it is.
And when she comes back, we'll wrap up. But nah, in all seriousness, still, like, thank you so much for coming on, bro. Like,
dude, totally.
So I hope you had a great time.
I did. This is the best set I've ever been on for a podcast, honestly.
I'll take
There
it.
Without
That's,
a doubt.
that's what we need to hear. A lot of time
Dude,
and effort
like,
into this.
I'd love to come back on with like another person or something, you know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Loft. I'm Kevin Nichols. That's Paige Pullman. That's Sayburm. Be sure, everything will be linked in the description. Be sure you guys check him out. He's fucking hilarious. Yeah, he's the guy. He's the guy.
Go Birds.
But
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go,
All right, peace, guys.
Birds.
Peace.
Yep.